Apple just unveiled the new iPhone 15 series and we have 4 new models, but while the regular iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus are very similar to the previous models, there are some big changes to the Pro versions. So in this video we'll look at all these changes and whether it's actually worth upgrading if you already own the previous iPhone 14 Pro. So this is what the new iPhone 15 Pro models look like. You have 4 color options, which are all kind of muted now and not as vibrant as before. Some people like them, some are a bit disappointed. No, you have a black version, a blue one, a new light gray option and a white model. And all of these still have a matte glass finish on the back. The big change is the frame, which is no longer stainless steel but titanium. Yes, you can hear a lot about titanium being stronger than stainless steel, but that probably doesn't really matter too much. After all, the problem with phones is that the glass on the back and the front can break, not that the frame is fragile. And the iPhone 15 Pro still uses the same glass as the previous versions. But the real benefit of titanium over stainless steel on the 14 Pro is that first, it does not catch fingerprints so easily, at least on the lighter versions, but most importantly, it weighs less. The iPhone 14 Pros are kind of heavy. Just take a look at this chart. The smaller iPhone 14 Pro weighs 206 grams and the 14 Pro Max weighs 240. And thanks to the switch to titanium, both the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max are 19 grams lighter, or nearly 10%, and you can definitely feel this in your hand and when you have the phones in your pocket. Now the other cool visual change is about the screens. The screen sizes are the same, 6.1 inch for the Pro, 6.7 inches for the Pro Max. But the borders around the screens are slimmer by 1/3, and it's just a much more modern edge-to-edge look, and it also helps the phones be just a tiny bit less wide. Really like this small change. And there's one more subtle design change, and it's how the edges of the phones are slightly rounded compared to the sharp edges on the 14 Pro series. Yes, that's a small thing, but you probably know how those sharp edges can dig into your pinky when you're holding the phone, so it does matter after all. Alright, let's jump into the cameras because that's the other exciting upgrade. The iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max come with a 25% larger main camera sensor, an improved ultra-wide camera, and the Pro Max specifically has a brand new 5x zoom camera. And that 5x camera, it's really cool. Apple calls this a tetraprism, meaning that light bounces off 4 different walls until it hits the sensor. It's a really fascinating technology, and it is also paired with the world's first sensor with 3D sensor shift stabilization, which helps a lot to reduce jitter for smoother videos and cleaner photos, something that is important for zoomed-in shots. And with this new camera, the 15 Pro Max can now go up to 25 times digital zoom, way longer than the 15 times maximum zoom on the 14 Pro Max. But since this whole setup takes up space, Apple could not fit it in the smaller 15 Pro model, but that one still uses the old and familiar 3 times zoom camera. And the new zoom camera is just one change of many, and even if you look at the main camera, so much has improved. Instead of 12 megapixel shots, you now get 24 megapixel pictures by default. This is a lot more detailed than 12 megapixels, and file sizes are not outrageously big as they would be on a full 48 megapixel shot. Honestly, this alone is big news. And you also get new 1.2x and 1.5x modes with sensor crop. That means you now finally have a 35mm lens on your iPhone, and professional photographers know that this is probably the best focal length for street photography. There is a bunch of other camera tricks too. Machine learning now recognizes people in your everyday shots, and you can turn these regular photos into portrait mode right in the Photos app. For video, the iPhone 15 Pro can now record ProRes directly to an external drive, which is just great, and you have a new spatial video, which is basically video with depth information built in, and you will then be able to watch this kind of 3D video on Apple's new Vision Pro headset. Alright, we talked a lot about the camera, but many of these new features are actually possible and enabled thanks to the new A17 Pro chip. Yes, this year it's called a Pro, not Bionic. And this is the world's first 3nm chip, a big step forward. Let's geek out a bit. You now get 19 billion transistors, 3 billion more than before. You have a 10% faster CPU cores, but it is the new 6-core GPU that steals the show with hardware-accelerated ray tracing, better sustained performance, less overheating. Put simply, gamers will love this new chip. The other change that we love is the new USB-C port. Now, the last time we had a new port on an iPhone was way back in 2012 for the iPhone 5, and we have been using the same Lightning connector in the past 11 years. So yes, when you make the switch to the iPhone 15, all of these older cables and accessories become, well, trash. However, let's be honest, Apple should have made this change years ago. It has been using the USB-C port for its MacBooks, for iPads for years, and pretty much every piece of modern technology also uses the same USB-C port. Android phones, Windows laptops, headphones, portable speakers, external drives. You name it, chances are it has a USB-C connector. And that is exactly why USB-C is so important and the switch is so good. You don't have to pack different cables for every trip or even around the house. It's just much easier. We will have a separate video explaining all the ways you can use USB-C on the new iPhone, so make sure to subscribe to the channel to see that. But the short of it is you can now connect an external drive to the iPhone 15 Pro, you can connect a 4K display, a microphone, even use your iPhone to charge an Apple Watch or AirPods. The 15 Pro models will also support USB 3 transfer speeds, which are 20 times faster than before, which is great when you want to transfer larger files. Finally, there are two features that we really hoped would change, and they haven't. These are charging speeds and battery life. The iPhone 15 Pro series still charge at the same 20-ish watt speeds, and the full charge still takes around an hour and a half to 2 hours. By modern standards, that's just slow, and phones from other brands now charge in about half that time, and even quicker. iPhones traditionally have very good battery life, so we can't complain much about not having any changes there, but we're hoping to see at least some improvements, and there are none, at least according to Apple's official estimates. So that was the bad news. And the good news is that prices for the new iPhone 15 series remain the same as before, at least in the US. And in some countries, Apple has even reduced the prices. This was definitely unexpected. We've been hearing for months how iPhone prices were expected to go up, so we can now finally breathe a sigh of relief. That's not happening. Now, to be perfectly precise, we do have one change in pricing, and it's for the Pro Max model. It used to start at $1,100 for the base 128GB model and $1,200 for the 256GB version. And for the 15 Pro Max, Apple is not offering that base 128GB version anymore. So the cheapest 15 Pro Max now starts at $1,200 for the 256GB model. So does that count as a price increase? I don't know. And here's what's happening to older models. So the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max are now discontinued. So the only Pro models you can buy are the 15 Pro series. So then you also have the cheaper vanilla iPhone 15 models from $800. And then comes the iPhone 14, which drops to $700 now. Then you have the iPhone 13, which drops to $600 now. And finally, you have the iPhone SE at $430. So let's summarize. Here's a recap of all the iPhone 15 Pro highlights. First, new titanium body, which is lighter than before. Second, new colors. Third, slimmer screen borders. Then the new USB-C port, new action button. Next, the brand new A17 Pro chip with a big upgrade to the GPU specifically. Cameras, they get new 1.2x and 1.5x focal lengths. Then a new 24 megapixel super high-res mode by default. Then portrait mode can be applied on regular photos. Next up, spatial video with depth information. Next up, you can record ProRes video directly to an external drive. Then you have Wi-Fi 6E for up to 2 times faster speeds. And finally, unchanged charging speeds, unchanged battery life. That's definitely quite the list, but which is your favorite new iPhone 15 Pro feature, and what do you think about the 15 Pro? Did it live up to the expectations? What do you like? What do you hate? What do you feel? How do you feel about it? Let us know in the comments. Subs if you enjoyed this video. My name is Vic, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.